Black Feniks checking in, and I wanted to talk to you this morning about welders having to relocate to elevate. I wanted to say that because a few people asked me what helped me get ahead more, or what helped me build myself up more and get more educated. And it was literally being willing to relocate myself, like to go to different places, uproot myself. Once I uprooted myself from where I started from initially, I grew. I even seen money and did things that I would have never experienced if I would have just tried to make it in that one area without getting outside of the box and realizing that it doesn't matter where you at to actually make money once you develop the skill set to become a fabricator or an instructor, or you producing your own type of business. But you have to find the niche. And I think that being able to relocate, being willing to relocate, will open up them doors. A lot of welders from small towns, it's good to get into a city life, to see something different, to go somewhere where you don't even know anyone. I would recommend that, because I think going somewhere where you don't know anyone builds the most strongest character, because you're forced not to depend on no one but you, or you and your mate, or whoever with you, you know what I mean? Or if you're by yourself, you're forced to depend on your grind, your knocking on doors, your hustle, your network. So I think that it's very important that if we would relocate, doors are open, especially if you're from a place where you can't eat, because later you could actually go back to that place and you can be able to maintain well, because now you see the needs, you see what's really going on. You say, oh, I can address this, oh, I can do that, oh, I can do this. But at first you wasn't fully open to that concept, because you was trapped in that certain area. And sometimes being stagnated in the area can cause you not to think bigger than where you're at. It's almost like certain animals will only grow as big as their cage, and if they be able to get in a bigger environment, they can expand and grow and do more, but they won't outgrow their environment. So I think that it's important that we would expand, be willing to relocate, be willing to travel and go places, experience different people, experience different jobs. It always amazed me when people talk about bullies and things, because they try to eliminate the bully, but we know that America is built upon that, because when you go to different job sites, you get bullies on job sites. So you got to learn how to deal with people and their character, and learn how to not get so emotional about certain things, but to stand your ground. You got to stand your ground. I think that disrespect and being petty is two different things. You know, certain things you have to stand your ground on. You might have to wrap it up, drag up, and move to another one. But you have to be able to determine, to have the discernment to know the difference. You know, sometimes it might be your fault, sometimes it might be their fault, sometimes it might be a combination of both. You know what I mean? But I just say, I think that being willing to relocate yourself as a welder is going to open up many doors. I'm originally from Arkansas, born in Little Rock, and I traveled, and I made my most money in Arkansas, in Northwest Arkansas. I made my most money that I have ever made in Arkansas. I was living in Northwest Arkansas at the time. And as soon as I left there, I almost made double what I was making there. And I'm just being realistic with you. So if I was doing okay there, like at that time when I left there, I think I was making $20 an hour for me being a iron worker welder, a lead. I was a lead iron worker welder. So at that time I was making $20 an hour, and for where I was at, and the color of my skin, I mean, I was doing pretty good. Most people like, man, you keep that, man, you doing good. But not realizing that I knew I was can do better. I knew I could grow. And I instantly, when I left that, I went from 20 to 27. And then it started going up, further, more and more. And then I became independent, and you know what I mean. So it went from the iron worker welder, top pay, to being a foreman, to being independent and making more money. But I had to learn the system. So me traveling and me willing to step outside the box and get a little uncomfortable, because we so used to the norm. We're used to certain things. I had one of my one of my little mentorees is from Mississippi, and when he first ventured out on his own, man, he was scared to death. And I remember some of the things he said. It actually made me and my wife laugh. You know what I mean? Because he wanted to get certain questions he was asking. I know that he was used to being around his mom all the time, and certain parents would shelter a child so much that it won't allow them to be them. They always feel like they got to rely on this. I'm like, man, you got to be able to stand your own ground and make your own decisions. You know what I mean? Like, respect home, but you out here now. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things you can't run by mama. You know what I'm saying? You go out to do that. You know what I mean? So I think that that experience, him being out on his own, and us having talking from here and there, I think it really embellished him as far as his concept of life and him becoming a man. So I think that traveling is a great thing. That's why I wanted to stop through this morning and actually talk about it, because relocation is key sometimes to your development, to your growth, to where you can go. And a lot of times it's not what you have, it's who you know. Family, I mean, literally, it's who you know. Sometimes you can go to a spot and you can build a relationship that open up some amazing doors for you, but you have to be willing to relocate for those doors to happen. And you have to be thinking outside of the box. You have to be thinking smarter than the average area. You have to hustle harder than those that's around you hustling. Some people don't hustle hard. They think that, I'm okay. And others, have to really, really get it. So the way I look at things is I'm willing to go outside of the box and create a box, so that way I won't have to live in one. You know what I mean? So traveling has been a blessing to me. I've learned a lot. I'm still open to travel. I love to travel. Like I say, me and my wife planned on getting things established and then jumping back on the road, hitting some places up, doing our own personal adventures, but also, killing a few birds with one stone, doing some mobile welding, some installing, and also some classes. I'm gonna be doing some mobile classes where I might be popping up in different cities, teaching different groups. You know what I mean? And also doing seminars. So my goal is to travel and be more open with the education of welding, because some people get caught up in thinking that college, that piece of paper is it. Education is the key. But education doesn't mean college. Education don't mean you have to go in debt to get this knowledge, but you do have to spend something. You do have to get around somebody. You do have to make some sacrifices. But you can do it, and I think that being a welder can open up doors, especially if you're a welder fabricator. Like, don't limit yourself just saying you're a welder. That can be an understatement. You can be a welder fabricator, welder fitter, welder installer, so welder operator, you know what I mean? So keep your mind open and learn multiple things on different jobs. On job experience is great because you're gonna get paid to learn. I always tell people that, hey man, go somewhere where you think you might want to learn this particular trade and get some on the job experience, and keep an open mind, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna do a lot of things. Like when I was staying in Newport, Arkansas, when I got out of prison after a decade, after 10 years, I was working with my first company. Actually built ambulances, and then they was providing them all over the country. Like, they were shipping these ambulances all over the country. They'll do them from start to finish. They'll get the truck chassis, and they'll build the box and put all the stickers and lights in the frame, and they are aluminum. So I did a lot of aluminum welding and TIG, and aluminum TIG and stainless. So I did that for the first year, and then the next year I relocated to another job, and I actually went up in pay, and I was able to do more. It was more of a construction. I did shop and field. It was shop and field, shop and field, and then I kind of stayed into the field. So it was different, but I enjoyed what I was doing. I was making money, and I couldn't complain, because I realized that, like I like to say now, field welding is a shop welding. Even me being in the field, I was able to make more money in the shop because of the conditions. And then once you learn certain things, you're an asset now. You know how to sheet buildings, you know how to do roofs, you know how to put in different structures, how to use a sky track, a boom lift, a genie lift, different things you learn on the job site. You know what I'm saying? So I think that traveling helps you relocate and helps you gain more knowledge. So don't be caught up in feeling like you got to stay in one place if it's not working for you. If it's not working for you, relocate and find somewhere that's working for you, so that way you can open some doors for yourself. But traveling, getting to a different area, man, I think that right there can really help you, especially if you go somewhere where you don't know nobody, but what you got in here. And maybe, like I say, your partner may be with you, or you just may be you. And you say, hey, I got a little money and I got an opportunity. I'm going to go and see if I do something. And I think that builds so much character. That builds so much confidence in you, where you will be around, you will notice it once you get around certain people that's not as confident. They'll think you're arrogant, and you're not. You're confident because you've been through some hard times, and you know that you can make it. Oh man, we can do this. There's no such thing as it can't be done. It's more of how can we do it. So I just wanted to come to you this morning and encourage those who are thinking about jumping into the field welding, to do mobile welding, welding ironworking, welding, installing, pipe welding, traveling, whatever you want to do. I think that it's good to learn those type of things, and also get outside of your box if you're in a small area. Get away from mama. You know what I'm saying? Get a chance to spread your wings and be a man. Like survive. Like life is going to take you some challenges. Life is going to be challenges. And one thing you're going to realize in life, that you're going to be quick to make certain decisions that you feel like it's going to be the end of the world. Like, oh man, this is the end of the world. I got to make this decision. And then you're going to realize that afterwards that life keep on spinning. It's not the end of the world. And so we can't be so hasty to make certain decisions. And we just have to be willing to trust ourselves and add work ethics. Faith without works is dead. We have to do something. We have to knock on doors. We have to make our own things happen. But we have to believe in ourselves, and we have to believe in what we're doing. So traveling has opened up doors for me. I planned on continue to travel. I planned on meeting some of you traveling. You know what I mean? You never know. So my goal is to just create opportunities to educate people on the science and the physical labor and fabrication of welding, and also the literature of it, and the what you can do, the possibilities of it from all different aspects. So I tie it into all different aspects of life. So that's why I blog different. You know what I mean? I just don't blog about welding all the time. I blog about what I do. Life consists of everything, and I think if I just put so much emphasis on one area, then I'll be faulty. You know what I mean? Like, life consists of everything, and I feel like being a well-rounded person, a well-rounded welder, is going to take you different places. So embrace what you do, love what you do, but don't be afraid to travel. Don't be afraid to relocate, to elevate. Hold on. Y'all be blessed.